Hello, this is Roller Oscar, and this is just a quick video showcasing the new Dear Imgui dialogues for Principia. Basically, if you have been keeping up with the recent developments of the game, I have been recently working hard on re-implementing all the dialogues in the game on desktop, which previously used our GTK-based dialogues and re-implementing them anew with a UI toolkit by the name of Dear Imgui. So basically, I had created this page on the community site. Are we Imgui yet? Sort of tracking all the dialogues in the game and whether they had been implemented and included either in a stable release or in a latest nightly. And basically, the idea was that we would be migrating more gradually all the dialogues in the game from GTK to Dear Imgui. But as it turns out, I basically gamified it so hard that yeah, it's basically all complete now, and it's all there in the latest nightly. Um, if you would like to help test the new dialogues, there's a I put a banner across the entire website to this forum thread I wrote. Basically, you can either download the latest nightly on the nightly builds wiki page, or you can also use the web version, which uses the Dear Imgui dialogues, which yeah, that's basically one of the reasons we migrated from GTK to Dear Imgui, even though that's not the only reason. But basically, GTK is well, it's mostly typically used for desktop productivity software. It's not really meant for games. Principia was kind of misusing it. Um, in case you don't know, the original story of Principia using GTK for dialogues on or originally Windows goes back to the game's um, proprietary development back in 2014, and it was basically just a stopgap measure for implementing the dialogues that in the Android version was implemented using native Android technology. Can't really port that over easily to Windows. And back then they were using GTK2, which was somewhat current at the time, though now it's mostly obsolete. And during the open source development of the game, we upgraded to GTK3, which helped us in some ways, but also really showed that GTK was really not a good fit for Principia. We have had various issues with the games on various platforms. For example, if you were playing the game on Wayland, for example, the pop-up menus, like if you go to the hamburger menu in the top right of the sandbox, this thing on GTK, it basically tries to open a pop-up menu without any window existing, which is not really something GTK and Wayland really likes. So sometimes the menus wouldn't appear at all, which is kind of kind of annoying, really annoying. But thankfully, in the last release, basically all those pop-up dialogues were basically the first dialogues to be replaced with the Imgui counterparts, just to solve that. But there were also various other things, like the GTK dialogues exist as windows separate to the main game window, which causes various issues with focus. Like the most specific example I can come up with is that if you're playing full screen on Windows, the game will flicker when the dialogues opens or closes. It's not like a seizure inducing flicker, but it's quite annoying, and it's not something a game should have to deal with, that we're constantly popping up and closing dialogues in front of it. It's basically not really, GTK is really not meant for games. So this is like really good for the future of the game, I hope. And for example, one of the things that Dear Imgui gives us, apart from all the previous things I mentioned about GTK being not good, is that Dear Imgui is a lot more portable. For example, you can have it in your web browser. If, let's say, someone theoretically were to port a game to Switch with a homebrew tool chain, maybe I will do that sometime in the future. It will just all work. And the Imgui also supports gamepad controls, which is quite handy if you're porting to a console platform like that. So I'll just continue using the web versions. This is more convenient. Um, oh yeah, I today I implemented this choice thing on the community site when you press the play button, you are given the choice whether to use the native version or the web version. Or they will use the web version. Oh God. No, we're supposed to go into this sandbox. So let's just start the native version, and I will pick that button. Yes. So basically, I don't remember how many dialogues there are in the game, but it's basically a couple dozen. There are some dialogues that are, well, more used than others. For example, um, I'm not sure how many people know about the package swap or package status objects, kind of part of the unused package system in the game, but it does have a admittedly rather simple dialogue, but it's nonetheless a dialogue we need to implement. And there are like various others. The robots all have fairly similar configuration dialogues, but they're fairly complex with a lot of things. And one of the things when porting all of this code from GTK to Dear Imgui is that basically Dear Imgui is a lot more short and concise. A lot of the code when written with GTK, which is which called a retained mode GUI toolkit. It retains the state within itself, which can lead to the state between the game's internal representation and GTK drifting apart, while Dear Imgui is immediate mode GUI, which means that basically no state is recorded within Imgui itself. We have a bunch of properties for the game. We shove it into Dear Imgui. Dear Imgui gives it back every frame, which is basically when you're doing game development, rendering stuff, every frame. That is basically what you would prefer to do. I mean, it's maybe bad for when it comes to optimization, but some of the most, if not all of the dialogues are not really need optimization in that way. Basically, we will always have to re-render it when we're rendering a 3D game. So there's no real way of getting around that. So yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. God, how long have I been talking? Oh my God. Um, yeah, so basically the test level I uploaded on the community site is fairly useful for testing a lot of dialogues in the game, because of the vast majority of the dialogues are for configuring game objects with more complex widgets than the game's own self-written widget toolchain does not support. And Dear Imgui comes with a lot of creature comforts also. So, for example, when you have a dialogue like this rubber dialogue, you have these sliders to set a float value. But if you do control and then click, you can also type in an exact numerical value, which is useful, for example, when you want to give a exact value, but also when there are sliders where you cannot get the full precision just by sliding it around, like when the float precision is too high, you have to manually specify a bunch of digits. Yeah. And of course, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but Dear Imgui, in addition to, of course, supporting mouse controls, it also supports keyboards control in a fairly decent manner. Like I can, if I go to the passive display, I can navigate through the entire dialogue, all the buttons and stuff. It's obviously not the same as how GTK's keyboard controls work, and I hope that it will be in some way still usable for people. I mean, it's not in any way better or worse. It's just mostly different. I do think that it was mostly possible to use the old GTK dialogues with the keyboard, but I do feel like the keyboard controls in Imgui work fairly well. And then also, I don't have my gamepad connected to my computer right now, but otherwise I would show that Dear Imgui also supports gamepad controllers in a similar vein to how they support keyboards, which is fairly useful since one of the upcoming plans I have for the game is basically implementing gamepad support. Now that we are both on SDL3 and have these new Dear Imgui dialogues, making that experience all the more better. Yeah, I basically did not prepare anything for this video. Was there anything else I wanted to say? No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, the banner is at the top of every single page on the website. It's hard to miss it. I really do hope people uh, want to help test the new Imgu dialogues and are as excited as me about the new things we're able to do with the game now that it's open source. I mean, I've been working on this for almost 4 years now, ever since the game was originally open sourced back in 2022, and yeah, I've been sticking around to it ever since as the project maintainer of it, and I hope that I will be able to do more of this in the future. That Principia will live on and become better and better, and yeah, we'll see about that.